Welcome to The Explainer. So, OpenAI just dropped GPT-5, and get this, they made it free for everyone. But this whole release, it's a classic double-edged sword. Today, we're going to cut right through the hype. We'll look at what's truly a game changer and what's, well, a bit of a reality check. And this is all based on an expert's very first impressions.
Okay, so right off the bat, we're looking at a huge contradiction. On one hand, OpenAI just handed a way smarter AI to nearly 1 billion people for free. I mean, that's massive, right? But on the other hand, if you actually watched the launch live stream, you might have been, well, kind of underwhelmed. It was just riddled with errors, which made it super hard to see what this thing can really do.
And yeah, that confusion was on full display during the demo. I'm talking mathematically impossible bar graphs. And the best part? The model literally hallucinated during the segment that was supposed to show off how it doesn't hallucinate. You can't make this stuff up. So look, the free access is a total game changer, no doubt. But that public debut, it left a lot of people just scratching their heads.
All right, but let's be fair. We need to separate the messy demo from the model itself, because in a few key areas, GPT-5 is a genuine leap forward. So let's dive into where the hype is actually real.
So first things first, the single biggest area where this model makes a massive leap, it's software engineering, coding. It really seems like this is where OpenAI wanted to plant their flag.
And here's the proof in the pudding. Take a look at this. On Sweetbench, which is a super important benchmark for software engineering, GPT-5 has officially knocked Anthropic's latest model off the top spot. And get this, Anthropic was only the leader for a few days. Now, GPT-5 is the new king of the hill.
And you have to understand, the context here is just everything. Sweetbench was the exact benchmark that Anthropic was bragging about just days before, saying it proved their model was the best. So for OpenAI to come in and beat them on their own turf, wow. It's like they just lobbed a grenade right into Anthropic's camp. A very clear message.
But it's not just about coding. There are some other huge wins here. We already talked about the mass accessibility, which is incredible. But for developers, the API prices are dirt cheap, totally undercutting their competitors. And its visual understanding, its ability to look at charts and tables and make sense of them, is absolutely top tier. It's even beating out some way more expensive rivals like Google's Gemini 1.5 Pro. Okay, but the hype isn't the whole story, right? To really get the full picture, we need a bit of a reality check. Let's talk about the model's limitations. Now this is fascinating. You see these logic puzzles that went viral online? GPT-5 looks like a genius on them, scoring 9 out of 10. But when you test it on private benchmarks it's never seen before, that score plummets to around 58%. So what's going on? Well, the most likely answer is that the public questions have basically leaked into its training data. It's seen the answers before on places like Reddit. Here's another one. OpenAI made this big claim about a 44% reduction in major factual errors or hallucinations. But then you look at this chart. This is a standard benchmark, and, well, the improvement is tiny. I mean, you really have to squint to even see that the bar for GPT-5 is shorter than the older models. It's not exactly a huge leap.
And what this boils down to for you, for me, for everyday users is a really crucial point. On the kinds of questions we're actually asking it, the model is still going to spit out a major factual error about 5% of the time. Now, that's an improvement, sure, but it means the problem of hallucinations is far, far from being solved.
And maybe what's even more telling is where progress seems to have just stopped. The context window, you can think of that as the model's short-term memory, it hasn't gotten any bigger. It's stuck. And for really complex stuff like machine learning engineering or trying to replicate AI research, the scores are basically the same as the last generation. No real improvement there.
You know, this lack of progress was sometimes hidden behind some pretty misleading charts in the presentation. The source for this analysis called them chart crimes, which is perfect. For example, on one problem-solving test, both the new GPT-5 and the old one scored 2%. But the bar chart made the new one look way, way taller. It's unbelievable.
So what are we supposed to make of all this? You've got these incredible wins on one side and then this stalled progress on the other. Well, it points to a very deliberate shift in strategy from OpenAI. It's less about a giant leap in pure brain power and more about something else entirely. And here it is, straight from CEO Sam Altman. He basically said the main goal here wasn't to release some radically smarter model even if they had one ready. The focus, and these are his words, was on real-world utility, mass accessibility, and affordability.
So what this really means is that this release, it isn't the arrival of AGI. It's not that, oh my god, moment of true artificial general intelligence. This model isn't that leap. No, the real revolution here is about putting a powerful, genuinely useful tool into the hands of a billion people. It's a revolution of access.
And this focus on practical utility even changes how they're thinking about safety. OpenAI is rolling out this new idea called safe completions. And what it does basically is it stops the AI from trying to be a mind reader and guess if your intentions are good or bad.
To put it really simply, the model is now saying, look, we don't really care why you're asking. We're just going to make sure the information we give you is safe and useful. It completely sidesteps that tricky business of trying to judge you, the user, and just focuses on its own output. It's a big shift. Okay, so this brings us to a final, more personal thought from the source material we're looking at today. What does this release, with its laser focus on utility, really mean for the future of AI?
I mean, think about it. For over 2 years, the entire AI world has been buzzing, speculating about what GPT-5 was going to be. It's been such a long wait, so much anticipation. And what we got is, it's really powerful for sure, but it's also really different from what a lot of people were dreaming up.
And that leaves us with this really interesting question, one that kind of captures the bittersweet feeling of this whole thing. Is this incredible tool the GPT-5 we all imagined 2 years ago? Is it that revolutionary leap in raw intelligence we were all hoping for? For a lot of us, the answer is probably no.
So, as we wrap this up, here's the final thought to chew on. This model chose utility and access over a massive jump in pure intelligence. And it really makes you wonder, are those truly mind-blowing sci-fi level AI models we've been dreaming about still out there on the horizon? Or has this release just shown us that the path forward actually looks a little different now?